most venerable members of the Sangha from all across the world present here today in this sacred Dhamma gathering. My esteemed colleague, Honorable Minister for Parliamentary Affairs and Ministry of Minority Affairs, Shri Kiren Rijiju, Honorable Secretary General of the International Buddhist Confederation, Sase Kenzur Rinpoche Ji, Honorable Deputy Chief Minister of Arunachal Pradesh, Shri Chauna Minji, Senior representatives and excellencies of the governments of Myanmar, Vietnam, Thailand, Kalmakia, and Cambodia, esteemed members of the diplomatic community, erudite Buddhist scholars, dedicated Dhamma practitioners, members of the media from India and abroad, ladies and gentlemen all across the world to the deliberate upon the theme collective wisdom, united voice, and mutual coexistence, the very essence of the Buddha Dharma. Friends, I am reminded that the conclusion of the first Global Buddhist Summit held in April 2023, the New Delhi Declaration affirmed a timeless truth that members of the Sangha, Buddhist leaders, scholars, and institutions can play a decisive role in addressing the multi-layered crisis facing our world today. I am gratified the continuation of this summit had translated that vision into sustained action. Ladies and gentlemen, over the past few years, under the active leadership of the Ministry of Culture, under guidance of Prime Minister Modi ji, and in partnership with IBC and our diplomatic missions, India has organized international expositions of the relics of Lord Buddha in Thailand, in Vietnam, and recently in Russia and Bhutan. These efforts reaffirm India's role as a custodian of shared Buddhist heritage and as a bridge between ancient wisdom and modern global dialogue. Friends, collective wisdom is interdependence as ethics. The Buddha taught us through Pattika Sampada that all phenomena arise in interdependence. This is not abstraction, it is instruction for living. It tells us that personal well-being and collective welfare are inseparable. When this truth guides public life, policy becomes humane, development becomes inclusive, and sustainability becomes moral duty. Respected delegates, the Noble Eightfold Path offers not only personal guidance, but social direction. Right speech, that is Samma Vacha, is especially relevant today in an age of misinformation and digital polarization. Truthful, compassionate, and responsible speech is moral leadership. Ladies and gentlemen, in the Sharaniya Sutta, the Lord Buddha speaks of 6 qualities that make societies harmonious. These values: physical harmony, verbal harmony, mental harmony, shared ethical conduct, tolerance, and integration, remain the foundation of peaceful coexistence in any civilization. Ladies and gentlemen, India's connection with Buddhism is not confined to history, as mentioned by Honorable Kiren Rijiju ji. It is living, it is breathing, and continuing. The repatriation of the sacred Piparvaha relics after 127 years is an act of civilizational responsibility. As our Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji has said, for India, the sacred relics of Bhagwan Buddha are not artifacts, but living symbols of our civilization. We have created a beautiful exhibition, and I would like to urge upon all of you, please do carve out time and visit to pay your reverence to the relics united after 227 years. Friends, India today is also committed to preserving the intellectual heritage of Asia, not only in stone and relic, but in text and traditions. Under the Jnana Bharata National Mission, the Government of India is undertaking one of the world's largest initiatives for the digitization of ancient manuscripts, Buddhist texts in Pali, Prakrit, Sanskrit, Tibetan and other classical languages, preserved on the palm leaves, birch barks, and fragile handmade papers, are being digitally conserved to ensure that the wisdom of the Buddha remains accessible to future generations. This is Dhamma preservation through technology, tradition empowered by innovation. Ladies and gentlemen, Prakrit is a classical language, and it's a classical voice of compassion. The language in which many early Buddhist teachings were communicated to the masses have now been accorded the status of classical languages of India under the leadership of Honorable Prime Minister Modi ji. This recognition honors a linguistic tradition that carried the masses of compassion, ethical conduct, and accessibility. From monastic centers to common households, I reaffirm our belief that languages of wisdom must be preserved, studied, and celebrated. Friends, the teachings of Buddha are not memories of the past. They are roots for our present and compass for our future. May this summit become a movement of action, dialogue, and compassion. May our collective wisdom find a united voice, and may that voice guide the world towards peaceful coexistence. Because in today's geopolitical turbulent world, where tensions are arising around the boundaries, across the boundaries, and beyond the boundaries, where out of the greed and exploitation, the nature is turning into the climate threat and knocking our doors. The families are dividing and fragmenting. The peace is lost in the minds of the people. The teachings of Lord Buddha is even more relevant, as said by Kiran Rijiju ji, than the time when he delivered this to the world. With these words, I express my gratitudes and welcome you all to India for this International Global Buddhist Summit organized by International Buddhist Confederation and Ministry of Culture for the second time. I thank all of you. Namo Buddhaya.
Thank you very much, sir. Your presence, your support, and your guidance always gives us strength and direction. Ladies and gentlemen, with the address of our chief guest today, we conclude the inaugural session of the second Global Buddhist Summit. We express our deep gratitude to our chief guest, Honorable Union Minister of Culture and Tourism, our guest of honor, Honorable Union Minister of Parliamentary Affairs and Minister Minority Affairs, Shri Kiran Rijiju, and other dignitaries for their gracious presence. I will request all of you to please put your hands together to express for our VIP guests, only for our VIP guests, others will remain seated here, only for our VIP guests, others will remain seated here, and ministers, honorable ministers, diplomats and bureaucrats will proceed to the room number 19 at level 1 for networking. Only honorable ministers, diplomats,
बुद्धं शरणं गच्छामि धम्मं शरणं गच्छामि संघं शरणं गच्छामि